Now just listen to this letter, fellas, and hold on to your hats. It says, Dear Command Performance, I'm a lieutenant in the Army, but I'm not a fighting man. Actually, I use lipstick, and I even tint my fingernails and pluck my eyebrows. But don't be alarmed, because I'm a nurse in the United States Army. Army nurses are usually carrying out the doctor's orders, but here's one time the nurse prescribes, and the prescription, Robert Benchley. Well, little lady, here's your wish right now. Here he is, Robert Benchley.
Thank you, Miss Smith. This is a speech that I'm prepared to deliver tomorrow to a group of sailors at one of the naval training stations. Sailors, I would bring you a message of warning, and yet at the same time a message of good cheer. You are about to venture out into the world, and it's high time that you learn something about the facts of life. I hardly know how to begin. Perhaps Dear Harry would be as good a way as any. Dear Harry, you have all doubtless seen during your walks in the country how the butterflies and bees carry pollen from one flower to another. It is very dull. You should be very glad that you're not a bee or a butterfly. You know, someday a bee is going to get hold of a real book on this subject, and from then on there'll be mighty little pollen toting done. If I know my bees at all. Anyway, if you've noticed carefully how the bees carry pollen from one flower to another, you will have wondered what connection there is between this process and that of animal reproduction. Well, I may as well tell you right now that there is no connection at all. So your whole morning of bee stalking has been wasted. For a more practical illustration of the facts of life, let's consider hen's eggs. If you will look at these eggs, you will see that each one is almost round, but not quite. They're more of an egg shape. Now, this is nature's way of distinguishing eggs from large golf balls. You see, Mother Nature takes no chances. Remember that. That's a lesson that all of you could learn. The egg, if I may say so, is not the only thing that had something to do with a hen. Now, the rooster is an entirely different kind of bird. The rooster is very proud and has a red crest on the top of his head. This red crest is put there by nature so that the hen can see the rooster coming in a crowd and can hop into a taxi or make a previous engagement. If she wants to. I don't know. But before we take up this phase of the question, for it is a question, let's go back to the fish kingdom. Fish are probably the worst examples you can find. In the first place, because they work underwater. And in the second, because they don't know anything. You won't find a fish in a million that has enough sense to come in out of the rain. Now, the only way a fish can go wrong is through drink or stealing. This makes the fish's life highly unattractive. After a time, one will get very tired of drinking and stealing, I'm sure. Well, we've now covered the various agencies of nature for populating the earth with the lesser forms of life. We've purposely omitted any reference to the reproduction of those unicellular organisms which reproduce by dividing themselves up into 2, 4, 8, and so forth, parts without any outside assistance at all. This method is too silly to discuss. We now come to colors. You all know that if you mix yellow with blue, you get green. You also get green if you mix cherries and milk, you know. I had to put that in. The derivation of one color from the mixture of two other colors is not generally considered a biological phenomenon, but it's because the psychoanalysts haven't got around to it yet. By next season, it won't be safe to admit that you like to paint even. People will begin to wonder about this. All of which brings us to the point of wondering if the facts of life are not all a gigantic hoax. A scientist has already come out with the announcement that there is no such thing as 100% male or 100% female. If this is true, it's going to throw a lot of people out of work. I think this just about covers all there is to be said on the subject, or all that we're allowed to say on the subject. But if there are any questions, or even any answers that you want to put to me, I will be in the lobby after the rally, or the rally after the lobby, and you just try and stump me. Shall we? Thank you very much.
Robert Benchley, that was fine. And now for a certain private first class located somewhere in the land of the Blarney Stone, a song as Irish as Paddy's pig and 50 times as beautiful. Rose O'Day. Johnny McCarthy loved Rosie O'Day. She was the prettiest thing. And every night in his sweet Irish way, under her window he'd sing, Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, you're daring, you're darling, you're lovely, that's what I mean when I say Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, boom tootie, boom tootie, boom tootie, Rose O'Day, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, you're daring, you're darling, you're lovely, that's what I mean when I say Rose O'Day, Rose O'Day, you're my filligadoosie, tinnamaroosie, balderalla, boom tootie, boom tootie, boom tootie, boom tootie, A little colored boy down south buried his face in a big piece of Georgia watermelon. A half hour later, he looked up sadly and said, "That's all there is. There ain't no more." Well, we feel the same way about this half hour. Thanks an awful lot for listening. And now this is Kate Smith wishing each and every one of you the best of the best, and saying on behalf of all of us on Command Performance, God bless you from over here. Our hearts are with you over there. Good night, boys.
Command Performance, USA, is broadcast every week at this same time to the fighting men in Uncle Sam's Armed Forces. It's your show, men, tailor-made to your request for entertainment from home. Let us know what you'd like to hear, and we'll produce it. For this is the American entertainment industry's own tribute to you, the men at the front. Address your request to Command Performance, USA, in care of the station to which you are listening. So long, buddy.